Back. It is 2:20. Let's see. Okay, so last night we made this beer soup, and I had some issues with it. As you can see, it was level. What happened was normally I do swirly soaps and I stick them in the oven to pop them to let them set up better overnight and make the colors pop. I was really tired, and instead of sitting this out on the counter or putting it in the fridge to set up, because it was perfect last night, it all looked nice and tall and pretty like this. But because I had the oven in the oven with the oven light on, no heat, but just the heat from the oven light made it like kind of melt down, and I've had to trim off the edges. It looked like dinosaur scales this morning. I was so sad. So I've had to trim off the edges to make it to try to get it out of the mold here. See, along the edges, I had to trim all of that. And I had stuck it in the freezer, and I've been trying to wiggle at it, work at it, and I think I finally got it to where I can get it to unmold. So it's been in the freezer probably for about 3 hours. And I'm not the best at piping, as I told you guys, but it's something I really wanted to try out again and do for this, and I totally forgot. Do not stick these in the oven. Your top will kind of like fall flat. So here's my tall, skinny beer soap with the Modelo and the Guinness soap. I don't think I'm going to be able to cut it on that. I have a wood cutter here. So my alternative is I have a silicone cutting mat, because this is not going to fit inside of that. So I'm going to put it on my mat, and I've got, let's see, this does have measurements on it. You can get some of the cutters that have measurements on them like that. And one of the girls had said that it helps to smear your cutter with rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to clean it off because I've been cutting with it a little bit. I'm going to spritz it again with rubbing alcohol. And I'm going to cut off probably this end piece here, right to the peak. Let's see if I can do it straight. And inside was supposed to be a secret feather swirl. See, it kind of stuck a little bit. You can rub rubbing alcohol on it, and that helps smooth out your edges. But that didn't do a clean cut all the way to the bottom, which is kind of sad. Now this is just for my husband and myself, but we are doing a free giveaway. So whatever soap looks the best will be the one that's given away. And so just comment below, tag a friend, share the video, and I will give away whatever piece looks the best, which will probably be this next one. I'm going to give a good size piece. So let's see. It would be nice to have a really big cutter, but since I don't make these kind of soaps very often, it's not worth the investment for me to get a big cutter. And I have a feather swirl sort of kind of in the middle, but it's not as pretty as I've had before. I've had a really nice really nice feather swirl that I did with a Totoro soap when I first started soaping 3 years ago. So when you're doing soap, it doesn't always come out the way you planned it in your head, which is okay. So here is that piece there. Hopefully, these are slippery when you have the rubbing alcohol. I'm just trying to smooth it out. Maybe we'll have a secret feather swirl somewhere else down the line here. It might be that I've never used a tall, skinny mold before, and maybe it's too hard to get that feather swirl. It might not be enough wiggle room. I'm not an expert soaper by any means, but maybe there's not enough wiggle room for the feather to make this feathery thing. So. I still think it came out really good. It still smell the beer, and it's a coconut blue agave scent, which I think really complements the beer. And the scent is supposed to darken up the soap batter over time. So this soap will probably darken up and turn a darker tan. And I'm anxious to see how that'll be, because this is the first time I've worked with a soap that will discolor to a tan. Here's that side. I think it's still really pretty. It kind of looks like the foam coming up in a beer. Trying to do some good sized pieces here that are, looks like if I get two of the whipped top parts, it looks really nice. This one's probably a little bigger. So this has been my secret to shaping my soaps while they're still slightly moldable, but since the soap did fall, I mean, it was solid. There was no moving it or pushing it up or probably scraping it off and redoing it. So that was kind of sad that the top fell, because it was really came out quite nice, I had thought. And these will probably get cleaned up a little bit. That looks really nice. Look at the top. That is so cool. Thank you, Spring, for hanging out with me. For some reason, it wasn't showing me the comments. I'm not sure why. So maybe if someone knows why, how to get the comments to show up while you're doing like a live soaping on here, that would be helpful, because I don't know how to do that. I didn't see any of the comments till after the live soaping was all done. It's kind of like a tall, skinny glass of beer, which is kind of cool. Here's this one. Really, that is so neat. I like it. And that's the gold glitter with the solar glitter from Nurture. Really pretty. And so yeah, this soap was made my husband and I have been together for a full year now, coming up in March for St. Paddy's Day. So I wanted to do a beer soap, and this is my beer soap. He's Danish and Hispanic, Mexican, Hispanic. And I'm Irish and French, so that's why I did the Guinness. It's an Irish beer. Modelo's Hispanic beer. I just thought those are actually two of our more favorite beers that I used to drink Guinness back in the day. I don't care for it as much now. I have tried the Modelo and I thought that was nice. So thought that would be it, like a union of the two of our nationalities. It'd be really kind of fun to do in a soap, and I think it came out really good. So here's this one. I think even though it's not quite a feather swirl like I wanted, it still looks really cool. Yeah, I'm not going to trim off too much off of the outside last two, because if we keep them, we'll just keep them, and then that way we don't have any small sample ones, because that's just silly. I don't like slivers of soap. Really neat. So see, this is the outer edge of where it was in the mold. This is an end piece, and I think it still came out really pretty. I think that's neat. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here was the other end piece, and for some reason, when I sliced down, maybe I didn't go slow enough. And sometimes you can take some of the extra soap batter and fill it in, but soap batter I have is white, so I don't know. I mean, it's just for us anyway, so. Yep, you can take your extra soap dough and kind of like squish it in, and it will finish saponifying to the other soap dough batter that's on your soap. And this isn't completely smooth, but that's okay. I still think it's really cool. So that came out pretty good. So this is a tall, skinny mini. That way I didn't make a huge batch. And I lost my towel. I had it here a second ago. Here. Okay, guys. Yeah, that came out really good. Thanks for hanging in there with me last night. It was really kind of long. Piping's not my forte. I think it came out really cute, and I might try it again with a different fragrance and see how that comes out. Waiting for something to come from Brambleberry. But yeah, comment below, like, share, subscribe. I will announce the winner next Saturday live. I'll put all the names in like a little hat and stir it around, and I'll pick somebody, and you'll get one of these free beer soaps. So they do have to care for at least a month, and they'll ship out then. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.